which it has been impossible to put on display. And I think the agree is particularly beneficial. I think probably was the word that's very clear about it, and the English and the haze that we do sometimes. Right,
sign of good organisation is being invisible.
No, it's a huge amount. I think it's worth pointing out the huge amount of work just going on behind the scenes, and it's a simple model. It's a success of yours. Right, so do I have any declarations of interest?
I'm involved with all of this one, please. Same here. Motion in hand.
I don't think that's a prejudicial interest, actually.
Unless we found a very creative way of money laundering.
Now we're on film with it.
Right, so minutes of the meeting held on the meeting held on the 11th of October in his offices at 7:15. So I'll go through as usual item by item. So page 84, 103, 104.
So there's an update on 104, but I think we got some information from Joe about dates of paperwork. We're in the process of preparing an email that would say what is happening with the community hub, at which point, with very good timing, we finally got an email saying some progress is being made. It's still not really clear why there have been such huge delays in actually putting in the planning application, but I think we're less interested in getting a straight answer than actually just making sure the thing is going to happen.
I mean, I'd agree entirely, because the agreement over the construction area was not the planning application was not dependent on that. I mean, it was clear that was going to go through anyway. It just needed details.
They've made a planning application now.
Is that right? Excellent. Okay, that's what we should look forward to seeing.
Would you, if you get the details, would you circulate that to so we can monitor it?
Yeah, sure.
Please.
Yes, yeah. Of course.
Please do that.
Okay, over page 85, 105.
Sorry, Chairman, yes. As you might expect, I was unhappy. I mean, it's coming under a section of 105 declaration of interest, and clearly wasn't.
Oh, right. No, you're quite right, it wasn't actually.
And I apologise for that. Well, I don't want to spend too long. We spent 13 minutes discussing this. It transpires that there were conversations going on before that meeting ever took place between respective clerks, and I felt that this was something like a kangaroo court, quite frankly. There was an accusation made against me that I had no prior knowledge of.
There was no accusation made against you.
There was a complaint. No, there was a complaint.
You remember it was a complaint made, but
yes, and it was me.
Yes, but I made my comments were entirely anonymous.
I think you did put your hand up.
You did.
You did.
You did, Anna. You did.
No. How could it have been properly discussed if Brian hadn't said that he had been answering a question?
Well,
the problem is that there's a complaint being made about one of our councillors, and you've sat on it for 5 days deciding what to do and hadn't given me an opportunity to answer that. By next questioning, you weren't able to answer specific questions about the complaint, and so carried on making the complaint anyway. For example, the question over whether it was a properly convened meeting. And our own clerk had seen a mail from Mike Nettleton which says we need to protect our ability to hold private meetings and as when we deem necessary. And you haven't actually questioned that, either of you. So, you know, we're in a situation, I really want to move on because there's no point in extracting it out. But if people have got complaints or accusations that are going to be raised in public, then the people who have made those accusations and made that should be informed and given a chance and a right to reply. That's all.
Okay. Noted.
Was there a reason why it wasn't a proper agenda item?
Yes, as I gather, I mean, the correspondence is with Clark, not with myself, I hasten to add. I gather that if there is no agenda, there is no objection to members discussing, because otherwise, you know, if two members meet in the street, it's a secret meeting, isn't it? It isn't.
No, I think that's...
My question referred to discussion of the incident. It
Right.
was not on the agenda
No.
for the meeting, and so it was rather sprung upon everybody present. Nobody had any chance to do any preparation or find out any more of the facts from anybody. Was there a reason why it wasn't an
It's
agenda
a
item?
timing. Yeah.
Well, sorry, timing how? If it can't be an agenda item, if it's not in time for that, then it should be an agenda item on a meeting where there is time to put it on the agenda.
Yes. Okay, well, we note your comments. Okay, thank you. Can we move on now? Okay. 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, over the page, 88, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, over the page, 89, 119, 120.
Could I just say, just looking at the word, the owner agreed to attend the meeting to discuss, however, he didn't turn up. Could we just use slightly less loaded language, because that person may well have had, you know, quite serious reasons for not
Yes, okay.
coming to the meeting, and not turn up sounds pejorative.
Not present. Okay. Would that satisfy?
Or did not come, yes, just something that's simple and not loaded.
Okay, no, point taken. Okay.
Thank you.
Let me bring it in there. Thank you. 120, 121, 122, 123.
Sorry, there's just a slight inconsistency in naming. So I noticed that in 121 and 123, I'm Beck in one of them, and Councillor Laxton in another one. And I think we're trying to be consistent so that people know who we're talking about.
Okay.
So I think in 121 I should be Councillor Laxton.
Okay, yes. Yeah. Uh, 122, 123, over the page.
Could I just clarify that Sawston seen as bi-monthly, not quarterly?
Yes, correct. Uh, 124, sorry,
Yeah.
124, 125 and 126. Those are the, we also, there are also minutes to be in the closed session. Before the beginning of the meeting, we're going to closed session to discuss staff pay. So with those amendments, everyone agree those minutes are acceptable.
Yeah, sorry, exactly.
Yes. So all those in agreement.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. No matters arising from those regarding the agenda. So report of the Planning and Environment Committee held on the 25th of October. Again, page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Sorry, yes. As far as the J boundary found in ACV is concerned, it is in hand. It is proceeding. It's not. The application isn't not in here, but the land search has been done. Section 11, we have a recommendation. Section 106 money, which is money given to us for under S106 agreements for contributions to recreation throughout the village, and we have to formally accept it. Sorry.
What will you propose?
This is the,
We propose, yes, we propose for negotiation if this, bearing in mind that this application hasn't been determined yet, and it is not recommended for approval by this parish council. We feel there's a if it were to be approved, we need to be in a position to negotiate, and that was what we suggested. We requested 67,500 when we as approved by the council. People in agreement with that. Do I have a proposal?
Just need to vote.
There's a second. Yeah. Are you all agreement?
no, it's not.
Sorry?
Oh, yeah, thank you.
12, 13, and we recommended budget of £32,507.63 to go forward to the.
Just check, is it not that the committees recommend to F&GP their budget?
But it,
rather than
oh,
to
it should be
You should do,
FGP,
actually.
that's
Yes,
not the plan.
yes, you're absolutely right.
It is,
Okay,
yeah.
sorry, apologies.
So, we need to vote on that.
Okay.
I don't
No,
we don't
no,
normally
no, we don't.
No.
No, the recommendation goes to FGP. We don't vote on that. It shouldn't actually be. 14.
Can I ask if the enforcement officer has been out to church with admin?
He was booked to go out on Monday,
Yes.
yesterday, so I haven't got any feedback. That's all. That's all we can know.
Thank you. I just wondered if that's, I'm not sure if that's on the action list, in case that does get lost.
Yes, we have both of them asked the enforcement officer whether Mr. Levenson has been on that. So we'll wait for that to come back to him.
Thank you.
You'll soon know because it'll go on the.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yes.
We do get weekly updates actually on that one, which I forward to Clark when there's anything on them.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. Right, so report the cemetery committee. Oh yes, yes, sorry. Yes.
Have you been everything fine?
So report to the cemetery committee. Page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Can I just stop you at number 6?
Yes.
We discussed about benches at the cemetery meeting, and it was agreed that instead of them having another bench, we'll give them the opportunity to put a plaque on the bench that was there.
Yes.
Unfortunately, since then, the lady that has the bench has changed her mind about putting other plaques on it.
Oh. Right. So,
So that'd have to go back to the
let's go back to
cemetery.
cemetery
Yeah,
committee.
just let you know at that line.
Thank you. Agenda item 7, the recommendation that the burial charges remain the same for the next 12 months and then reviewed at this time next year. Is there any discussion? So all those in favour of that recommendation, please indicate.
Thank you.
The rules regarding multiple ashes and single cremation plot. We received a request from Wilson regarding charges of return ashes and cremation plot. It was discussed and proposed by Owner and recommended to full council as 2 names have to be recorded. They would incur the charges for 2 returns, so no reduction for a double burial. That's a recommendation to this council. So, is there any discussion on that? Okay. So, all those in favour of that recommendation?
Yeah.
Okay.
David can answer just in that the spelling mistake in the top of that, number 8, multiple. Just
Yes, it is. It should be told. Yeah. I guess it is.
got a typo on it.
Agenda item 9, another recommendation to full council that the hedges be replaced as soon as possible so we can do them during the winter season. And do we have points for you?
We do, yes. So to do the extra hedging for Alfred Street needs finishing off from the kissing gate to the skip area. It's going to be £1,161.22.
And we have
That's for the
money-
fencing and the planting and that. We've got loans.
we have money in this year's budget in order to do that.
So, sorry, it says hedging, not
Yeah.
fencing.
Fencing to hold the hedge. Yes, the fence has got to be replaced.
Yeah.
And then the hedging, isn't
So
it?
how long is the area in question? It just seems very
110
high.
metres.
All right, so it's just
It's all the whole length, yeah.
So on timing, when's that going to happen?
Well, during the course of the winter, during the planting season.
Well, that's why I was asking, because I wouldn't have expected planting season to be when the
No. The point I was trying to make is that if we don't agree to do it this year, we go to next year. We will be done for another year until next winter.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Right.
So in the course of the next
Yes.
12 months,
Yes.
when
Yes.
planting the season. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So
So did you give us multiple quotes? Sorry, I didn't get one figure.
Well, that's only one because that's all the people we get it from before because you can't, the fencing, don't we have trouble with Mr. Mallow, so you have to get it from the wall farming people.
Sorry, I didn't
so
It's not
So
something
you have to get a
can-
specific one of fencing that can only be got from one supplier because it's between the cemetery and the farm, is that?
That's exactly the same fence as what's around New Road, Cambridge Road to Spices.
yeah.
I mean, obviously that seems to work. That's kept the school children off of breaking the hedge down along New Road. So what we've done seems to have worked. Before it was all caps.
So is this quotation just for the hedge and not for the fence?
For both.
Hold on.
Yes. So, all those in favour of that recommendation?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10.
Those against? And those abstaining? Abstention. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16, which again is a recommendation to the FGP. So all those in favour of accepting
Oh, the proposal first,
the proposal, please. And second, Roger. So all those in favour? Thank you.
Sorry, yeah.
So accounts for month of October, and a revised sheet was distributed earlier today. All members members who don't have email have sight of those. Okay. Right, any questions?
Yes, please. The replacement lot for Pepper Shell Go,
Yes.
is this because of the,
Yes.
well, far be it for me to say anything, but wouldn't it be better to get a decent lock by a locksmith rather than just go to a hardware shop? I know we're going to need to support the local businesses, but this is quite
I think this
an
is an
important item.
emergency, we wanted to get a look on there to start with, but yeah, we
Nevertheless,
agreed to do that.
Yes, we would, or I would like to recommend that, you know, a lock-proof lock, if you like, but a much
Yes, I think there is a...
Much more robust.
Yes, yes.
Well, it just makes sense to me.
Mr. Chairman, I think I've had as many break-ins as anyone. I've tried all sorts of locks, but a friend of mine always told me a lock only keeps your friends out, and that's about right. It's not the lock, it's the attachments to the lock.
Well, yes, I quite agree.
You've got to go.
A chain with the lock on it, you only need to cut the link, one of the links in the chain, just to get in. But we're talking about, you know, deterring people.
Yeah, well, this is what people do, Tony. It's not the locks they cut, it's the chain.
But then,
That's for
so
example,
Yes, yes.
bicycle locks, unless you use a D-lock,
Yes, yes.
you know, using a chain top of a bike is
I'll get
so you
some
use a D-lock on a
Yes.
bike
I'll go on to that.
rather than a chain. Can we do something of that ilk?
why not?
So the proposal is simply to spend a respectable amount of money on a deal?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Relying on...
Yes, I think it probably just to come under recreation, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. I think if we refer it to the next recreation, it's probably...
Generally,
I mean, it's something really,
Unless you want to
I think,
agree.
you know, I'll agree with.
unless you agree a price, and then I'll have a look, I'll
Yes.
speak to people and
Because
then...
we really need professional locksmith to come out and assess the situation, look at it, and advise us on what might be possible and more secure.
Well, rather than delay, can't we set a budget now?
Can do, yes.
So what, up to
270.
800
Yeah, I mean, I think
it'd be a little bit more.
You're probably looking at to call a locksmith out. It's about £80
Well, I don't- I
minute,
could
so
just
much
ask-
per hour. Then that's the lock, so you're probably looking in the region of about £300 in total.
But then do they need to come out and just explain to them what the
Well, it's the
implications
body
are? So
scheme.
just
Some-
ringing...
some of
The
them-
body scheme
Yeah.
in the village.
Yeah, I don't need to call anyone out, I can
So
do
you
it.
save money there.
So what, how much do you want to spend on
So we say a good lock, £100.
Well,
Do
and the chain as
150
well.
just in case?
Yes, I think, yes, yeah.
Whatever.
a device?
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, if you agree an amount, obviously, I don't need to spend up to the total, so...
Yeah, I think
Yes,
that's more sensible.
Let's get
So it's proposed 150,
I'll second that.
seconded. All those in agreement? Okay.
Sorry, can I just ask one more as well? Further down the list for Travis Perkins, some saddle ends for the benches.
Yes.
Unless it's being used inside, I hope they're not going to use this outside this time of year.
I don't think he's used it yet, I'll have to check with him.
Well, it could be done in the mortuary shed, obviously,
Yeah.
if they take the benches in there, but
Yeah.
now it's not the time of year to use that because it's not going to stick.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. So, is it, no proposal, sorry, what you were
Point
proposing?
query, because we've got a cost for lighting and sound for bonfire night. Do you know what proportion of the cost was for sound?
It's just their company do it as a package, so I don't know. They put lightings in the marquees and that, and switches and stuff, so...
Okay. So with those comments, all those in agreement? Okay.
Thank you.
So we have section 107, lovely 7 application for donation to the Sawston Parish,
Everyone's had a copy of it.
Any questions?
So
Just a fair right, give a contribution, because I know it charges. That's something that I've not been informed of in previous years. I've not asked them.
Because we don't get much
We
of a
don't, yeah.
contribution to the bond fund.
We don't pay to have a local bond fund, but he does give a contribution because of charges, so we don't actually pay to have them there.
Might be useful to get your contacts.
That's the only contact I've got. That's only, yeah, I can give you the.
Useful to pass on to.
I've got the.
You've got an email, haven't you? But he's only done the only person.
But there's there are items such as Santa's presents and so on, so
Yeah.
there is net expenditure for this. Do I have a proposal?
I would certainly propose that we give them the requested grant.
£300, yeah. Do I have a second of that? Good. All those in agreement? Okay, yes, I think it's probably.
What did you do? So,
No,
oh, right, hold on.
Yeah, so it's three
Two
no
no
votes.
votes.
Three no
You
votes.
abstained
Three no
there?
votes. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Boiler servicing.
Well, this is whether boilers all need servicing at the pavilions and spas. We've contacted 3 companies. We've had on spot.
Well, it's.
Which is £372, that's including VAT, and that's for all 3 boilers. It's the same company we actually used last year.
Yes.
Was it comparable cost to last year?
He's actually, from last year, he was the cheapest that we had again, but
Right.
it's just getting them to quote this.
It is a statutory requirement that we have it done.
Well, we have to have it,
safety
yeah.
certificate, so.
Have we considered taking out a service contract for the boilers?
Well, this is what I want to speak to about on 138.
Yes.
Oh,
Long
okay.
contracts to do.
They're not generally agreed with a terribly good idea, especially not the British Gas. That's so
Well, no, but
Right, no.
Consumer papers are full of complaints.
To be quite honest, these are all local plumbers. They don't
Yeah.
actually use British.
No.
We're better off with a reliable
Yeah.
local plumber
Yeah.
and unless they're
Well, sorry, you-
no, it's fine. I just thought it was worth exploring.
We are going to. It's not too late to sign it, so.
Yeah, but I missed the relevance of that.
Apart from proposals, but I'm happy to propose that we do that.
So I have a second.
Yep.
Okay. All those in agreement with it? Yes, thank you. And pack testing, GP's monster.
Oh, I've got 3 quotes. So pack testing, obviously all the appliances we've got in the pavilions and the office. The 3 quotes all excluding VAT, £72, £100, £169.20.
Well, since it's an absolutely standard service.
Well, it is.
Is that the cheapest?
Yeah.
And second,
So that's
Okay. Just before we vote, Mr Chairman, I wonder, the electrical,
yeah.
yes.
one of the quotes is not my brother, is it? Because it doesn't say, so I don't want to vote.
Haven't put that on there. No, it's not.
Okay, fine.
You don't even know whether it is or not. I don't think
No,
that
it's right. It's
would be-
still
It is right. It is potential, yes, yeah. So,
So go with
all
72.
those in favour of those quotes?
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for my brother-in-law to turn up to do the
Okay.
Yeah, I've got that. That's done. Yeah.
So longer contracts for regular maintenance of parish council premises.
So every year we have to get quotes for the air conditioning service, boiler servicing, pack testing and stuff like that. So I was just going to ask if would you agree next time we do a quote I can get a 3-year contract like we do like the Christmas lights and stuff, so that every year we're not. I don't know if it's beneficial doing that or if you want us to carry on doing getting quotes every year.
What are the upsides and downsides?
Well, that's just what we do this every year. It's just getting the quotes. Every year it's
The
trying
main
to
upside
change
is, you know, it's a fixed rate, isn't it? You know
Yeah.
what
But if we do
the-
a 3-year
you know
contract,
what the expenses are going to be.
It does make budgeting easier.
it would
Yes.
well, make
There's a lot less of Joe's time if we
Yeah.
were talking about
Chasing.
saving small amounts.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Doesn't sound like there's any downsides then.
I just thought it made sense to. We do it with like the Christmas lights and grass cutting, all 3-year contracts. So
suppose the only downsides are if we have a bad experience with somebody in the first year, then we're stuck with it.
Yeah, I mean, most of these, like the air conditioning service, the boiler service and practice, because we always use the same, it always ends up we're using the same company, so I do know the ones that we are actually using. We have used them in the past, so it's not...
So, and really to Kieran's point then, if we're going to do a 3-year contract, then we need a break clause put in there, don't we? So I was going to say, if we're dissatisfied, we can discontinue it.
Yeah. You want to
That sounds
company
so
person?
Yes, yes.
More effective as well.
we're saying do it next year, but if we're doing the PAP testing, boiler servicing now, should I do it now or should I wait till next year? I mean, I can wait till next year because the prices might be different over 3 years.
It seems silly to me to wait. It's possible, I would suggest we ask them for a 3-year contract. If their annual figure is the same or below the figure we just approved for a single year, then I would, well, I don't know, can we couldn't really vote to accept it.
That's the thing, because it's...
The end of the 3-year contract.
Well, I think
And these do need doing now.
it is due now, actually. That's the difficulty.
Maybe what we'll do is if we agree to do a 3-year contract, when these items come up
Yes.
next time, because they always come
then
to
get
full,
3
I do a 3-year quote, I do a 3-year.
Okay, so we'll have to do
That's
this.
so ongoing, yeah.
I think with this year we have to go with
Okay.
that. So, is anyone...
Okay, is there to do that?
And a second?
Right.
So all those in favour?
Okay, thank you.
Right, the continuing saga of the multi-use building.
It's not been built yet.
No.
In case you're
I think
wondering.
we all knew that. We can see a way through getting the archaeological conditions because we approached the archaeologist. Well, the archaeologist has pointed out that the construction of this thing is not going to go very deep. We've had several discussions with the county archaeologist who has now agreed that if an archaeologist is present whilst they're preparing the surface, then the condition will be discharged without having to dig an exploratory trench across the site, or have the cable moved, which was a huge, which was a really serious expense. So basically, what we're proposing to do is to ask for a discharge of conditions along those lines, which since it has already been discussed with the county archaeologist, should be forthcoming. And I hope you'll agree to that course of action.
Excellent.
Okay. I don't think I need a vote.
But we haven't got...
Anyway, it's just an update. So the fire risk and assessment checks.
Okay, we had the old fire alarm was making funny noises a couple of weeks ago. We had to get the guy out to check it. And what we should be doing, we should have a fire risk assessment done every 5 years, which we haven't had done. We need fire alarm and emergency light testing every 6 months, and fire extinguishers every year. So I've been on and got quotes for companies that will come in and do the whole testing of the emergency lights, smoke alarms, fire alarms. So the quotes that I have are £2,337 plus VAT, £1,430 plus VAT, and £901.76 plus VAT. Now the £901.76 plus VAT, which is the cheaper one, the guy actually came out and came around all the pavilions with me in the office, whereas the others just did it's so much per site, whereas the other guy actually did come out and... Yeah.
Yes.
He's also, so that's the 901. It also includes, which the others don't, unlimited call-outs and technical support, so you can ring them up any time. And he's also advised that the staff attend a fire safety awareness course, which they can provide for up to 10 people for £195. So if you did the training and the assessment, and that, the total for that one would be £1,096.76 plus that.
So,
But it's a legal requirement, we have to do it.
How long does the assessment actually take?
Well, one's just a risk assessment, which I've done every 5 years, so they just come out and risk
How much
assess.
time do they spend doing it though?
Oh, I didn't ask. I
It
don't
seems a
know.
very high day rate.
well,
But no, that's not, that's... Oh, right, that's a one-off, yeah, that's...
Well, have we spoken...
Sorry.
so, I'm sorry, so just one at a time.
Could I finish my sentence,
Yeah,
do you
sorry.
think? Have we spoken to the local fire service? Because they always used to do buildings assessments
Yeah,
and they
I
will charge for them,
Well,
but...
we could ask.
They
don't
would...
They don't.
They don't come around and carry out.
No, I know they don't do the free ones anymore, but I wonder if they'd be worth asking whether they do it on a professional basis. It's just that for the amount of time it would take somebody to go round all 3 buildings and assess them.
Well, this chap's, for the fire assessment, he's charging a one-off charge every 5 years of £395. The other
Sorry,
one...
you quoted 900 and something.
Well, yeah, that's including
That's
him
yes.
coming out every 6 months. So that it includes a one-off charge for the fire assessment, risk assessment, which we have to have.
Which
So
is
the other company
about
was
400.
£700 and he's £395. And then on top of that, you had, so that would be a one-off payment, and you'd have to have that every 5 years. And then you have to have fire extinguishers, fire alarm, emergency lighting, smoke detectors and everything checked. Most of them are every 6 months.
And
Fire
how much does
extinguishers
that
in an
cost?
annual check, and that would be £506.76.
Each time they're checked or per year?
No, that's per year. That's for the 4 areas, 4
2
places, 2 visits per year, with unlimited call-outs and technical support. So really, you're actually paying £395 for the fire assessment every 5 years, and then you're paying £506.76 every year to have this,
For 2 visits.
which is every 6 months, which they have to
They
come out and get
about
service.
£400 for one assessment and then about £250 for 2 separate visits. That makes more sense than a blanket figure of £1,000 for risk.
Well, that's what the one-off charge would be, won't it, if we go ahead with it.
Right.
No, that's what I would...
Pretty good.
You've answered my question. Thank you.
Right, so with that explanation,
So I was going to say, just to confirm, I've written down here, so the alarm at the office, we've got to check it every week, and then that needs servicing every 6 months. Smoke alarms, the groundsman and myself will check every week, and they have to be serviced yearly. Fire extinguishers, again, we've got to check it every week, and then they have an annual check. And emergency lighting, we have to check monthly and an annual check.
One of your emergency lights failed this evening. It was on, it's been off.
No, we've had trouble with the electric right in the dark, that's why as electricity power coming in, the lights keep flicking. So the guys coming in tomorrow to...
yes. Okay. So this is
And I think it's worth us having the training.
Yeah.
What I was strongly suggest is that since we have 10 places on this, there's obviously all the staff that need to go, there's a really spare place, I'm sure there's not 2 members. I mean, I'd certainly like to go on one. And I think when we have dates, perhaps we can have this members.
It is also worth asking regular users of the buildings. I mean, should someone from the cricket club, for instance, be
Right, okay.
interested in
Yes,
that?
Yes, that makes
Yes,
sense.
it does actually, yes, yeah.
Yeah, probably be more
Yes,
useful
it
than
may well be
everything
more.
else.
It probably not be kind of could be more usual them having it than us as
Yes, it
councils
probably
having
would
it.
actually.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
No, I just know, yes, you know, it's just a question of what we
So then it's on-
More usual.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't leave them on the line, cost us.
Great.
So
So I
what we
propose
right.
with that quote plus the training.
So
that's
the
yeah.
so the 901, the first quote for the assessment and that and training.
So, Mr. Secretary,
Thank you.
and all those in agreement. Thank you very much, guys. Okay. Right, shredder for grounds then.
Oh, it's not that bad.
That's exactly my response
Harsh penalty.
Yes.
We've got some tree work to do. We've got some more work to do at Orchard Park.
Right.
And there are the odd little trees around and about that need work. So he's asked if he can have hire a shredder again for a week like he did last year so he can get all the work done. It's
Yes.
up to £300 for a shredder, he said. I think we paid 280 or something.
Okay. So,
Postponed to 330?
yes,
Yeah.
Do you have a seconder? Second. Neil. Okay. All those in favour?
Lovely, thank
Do
you.
you think that was use of compostable matter that we've actually sold?
Well, we use it for our footpaths about
Yeah.
around the village.
So, Cambridgeshire County Council Minerals and Waste Development Enforcement Plan. I think we're asked to
I'm not sure,
Yes.
It's open to from the 24th to the 17th, isn't it?
Yes. So does it,
They got this to come back.
well, we can do, yes, except this is only another full meeting for them.
Yeah, that's why I put it
Oh,
on.
that's why it's on the agenda.
That's why it's on
It's
the
late, but
agenda.
it's like zero, aren't they?
Well, we can do, yes. I just want to give people the opportunity to comment if they wish to do so.
I can't see anything either controversial or unusual in it.
I think I'd like to,
Sorry.
Sorry.
draw this to the attention of Green and Sawston, who I think will have more specialist knowledge about
Yeah.
particular areas, so I will do that.
Yes.
But I'd suggest from a council point of view, we simply support it.
Yes. I was thinking,
Propose that.
no further comment. Roger. All those in agreement? That's unanimous. Right, correspondence, we have a thank you letter from the Royal British Legion. Thank you most sincerely for this contribution to the Poppy Appeal. Please accept this letter as our formal receipt for the amount shown. Poppy Appeal is a major source of income and revenue for the Royal British Legion's Benevolent Fund. Each year, more people come to the Legion for help, and the cost of help is continually increasing. Daily, we see and read young servicemen and women employed in peacekeeping duties in many parts of the world, often in considerable danger. And this means there will always be a need to provide help for them those dependents that they themselves no longer can. That is why it's so important that the Legion continue with this vital work. Thank you on behalf of those who now benefit from your support, and those of the donations that we give to the Poppy Leagues. Update by county councillors. None of which are here.
No, but I just sent through the update.
Oh,
Which you,
oh yes, yes, that's right.
that only covers
It's
it.
not really a lot new, but I did see that.
Okay.
Which is highlight and simple work qualified should be done.
Right, so council's issues and agenda items for the next meeting. Mike.
Yeah, there's one. The travellers get onto that site out at
Which is why
How can they not be prosecuted for breaking an entry?
I have been speaking to the police and waiting for someone to come back to me.
Yeah, that's not good enough, is
No.
it?
It's not usually expedient to, first of all, to identify the group involved, and secondly, to serve a notice on them. But you know, so
They were there when the police were
Yes, I
there,
know.
they should have done something
I know,
about
yeah.
there and then. Because they know they just wouldn't disappear. And they're going to keep doing it unless they start getting fined on the spot.
I will chase the police.
No, the police have got to wake their ideas up.
thank you. Brian.
And the only thing we've stalled on our internet working here.
Yes, we have. You're right. Yes.
So I would suggest, remind myself to reactivate that and get a meeting together. So if when you get with the members, when you get something from me, please respond and we'll see if we can get that back.
Do you want to set up a Google call?
I don't mind what tool we use. I tried Slack, I think.
Okay, yes, you did. Yes.
so perhaps that's the wrong named tool.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'll do it.
yeah, okay. Tony, Kieran,
Nothing, thank you.
Neil,
Yeah.
Rob, Dick, Colin, and Kieran.
Yeah, I've had two things. One is I've had received a complaint from somebody who lives at Linton Way about the appalling language being used by the rock on something or
No, I've had the complaint come in I'm waiting. I've asked her to write in so that I can put it on the agenda item.
Oh, the swear.
She's been
I mean, they use it by cars. It's not just colourful, it's...
But yeah, we're on it. Once she sends it in to me, I'll make it an agenda item.
Yeah.
Hear swear ball every Friday, every Saturday afternoon from Mill Lane Rec, so...
But yeah.
But this makes Mill Lane Rec look...
I think this might be at another level, shall we say?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Well, that's surrounded by residential housing and playgrounds, isn't it? And it's only amateur sport. They need to just...
The main concern is, as Beck's rightly brought up, is there are children around. It is within a built up area.
Well, like I say, I've asked her to write in, so I can make it an agenda item. So I'm just waiting for it. Shall I write that down?
Yes, if you went there with a placard, you might possibly get flattened.
Yeah.
And the other one is has the Parish Council been informed of a potential huge power cable going through New Road?
No.
11,000 volts.
Oh, it's the same as under the mother.
No, it's a new
Yes, so it's a distribution cable, it's the same.
This is intended to get to Granta Park.
That's right, yeah, spot on.
Yeah.
It's coming up to another parishes because of wanting to
It's
reverse
the ones where I want to be coming from Whittlesford all the way through from what I can gather. The issue that has been raised is health. If there could be, if they go have a public consultation so they can discuss health, because by accounts, this is completely new to me, I don't know, but I was, the big overhead ones, there has to be a certain distance from a household or before you're allowed to have them because the magnetic field or whatever it gives off. The person
We need to
probably asking.
knock this back to get information from the local distribution company.
Yes, I mean the potential health hazards of electromagnetic fields from power cables have been long and fraught discussions with conflicting evidence over many years and over discussion. Let's get into
Yeah, but the person's asking now is, are they going to go to public consultations so they can raise these issues and that discussion can be held?
Yes, I think so, yes, I think it should be. Yeah, yes, no problem with that at all.
Well, that's the distribution company.
Yes.
UK Power.
Oh, next week tomorrow, so this one out, so I'll ask him.
Is this not the same
No,
person?
but I can get
Oh, yeah.
find out details.
You should just go online and find out your local power distribution company, but it's UK Power is the one.
It's a Andrew, we've been about 10 foot of a power line.
Okay.
Nice, not one field.
Well, I've just seen the price go up within 10 foot.
Well, as I say, they're a statutory undertaker, so ultimately they will do it, whether they agree or not. But I would quite happy to the parish council to arrange a public consultation, and that's
Well, they have to put it in the planning commission, don't they? Whoever's over it or underground.
It's not exactly.
That's what come to us.
You can't go to the whole ones.
It's not exactly.
Yeah, but it's the parish council.
Almost a sort of statement they're going to do it, I think, actually, rather than...
Yeah, it's a statement.
Right.
Good to ask.
Yes, I was going to. Yes, yeah.
Sorry.
I was just waiting for the request to finish the council's issues. So, Tony,
Through the agenda, we're actually we're arriving at this sense.
Okay, well I did send a report to which I hope is correct. I think I'll just clarify one thing.
and that was about the local sideways, and I talked about the County Council's Greenway review. I've got electronic copies of documents, so I'm happy to circulate them to Joe, so circulate them to all members of the
Yes, I have seen that online, and I think it's to be commended, and I think it's something that I'd like to support. But my slight concern is that I think the priority in cycleway provision should be devoted towards upgrading to modern standards. The cycleway we already have between Sawston and Stapleford.
Right,
And I wouldn't want the Greenways project to divert funds away from that. So as a separate project, I would totally support it personally of the Greenways
Greenway
project.
actually supports exactly what you just said, because when you look at the Sawston Greenway, it does talk about quick wins, and one of the quick wins is upgrading the cycleway that exists.
Yes,
Because much of what else is there is about other routes.
yeah, the map I saw seemed to take it round more or less along the line of the former head of the railway.
It does in part, yes, but when you look at it, it also talks about existing cycleways and upgrading those, and that's one of the recommendations. So in fact, it's one of the quick wins, as it describes it,
Yeah.
which I think is actually very supportive. What I was going to say about it is that the whole project, in a sense, was to look at some potential schemes, but any funding is likely to come from one of three sources: Section 106 money, city deal money, or specific cycleway grants from government. And in a sense, when government suddenly comes out with, oh, here's a pot of money, bid for things, they want schemes to be almost shovel-ready, as they say. And therefore, it's important to have some schemes available so that they can be implemented pretty quickly. And when you look at the totality of the different schemes within them, you've got certain bits of projects which are specifically described as quick wins, something that you get on with straight away. Because after all, the cycleway is already there. It's just a case of improving it and widening it, as opposed to trying to purchase land from landowners for diverting, for building new routes on other pieces of ground.
Yes.
So that's what I want to say about that. Two other things. And that is, I'm a member of the General Purposes Committee of the County Council, which consists basically of chairs and vice chairs of the committees and leaders of political groups. And within that, the Sawston Hub scheme actually falls within the remit of the General Purposes Committee. We've just started to look at our budget for next year, and I'm pleased to say that the Sawston scheme is retained within the budget, and in fact there's been a slight increase in funding from 1.25 million to 1.309 million. So that's in there.
And I gather a planning application is finally gone in.
Yeah.
Can I ask, is the County Council satisfied with the management of the project?
Well, it's a good question. I think I'll answer a slightly different question. There have been a number of delays to the project of one sort or another. One of which was actually the leaders of all the political groups called a halt on, stopped the project for a while they clarified an issue about did in a sense the council have to write off some money to actually carry out the swap from the site that the library originally obtained. So that put a stop on it for several months before they finally agreed, came to General Purposes Committee and we agreed unanimously to carry on with the project, which is pretty obvious anyway. But there have been other things about signing the permission for the compound as to where that was going to be placed, and that took a bit of time through the legal process. So there have been one or two delays at various points with various responsibilities throughout the project. I think I'll leave it at that, but I can see where you're coming from.
Yes. So,
so that was one thing.
Yes.
And the other related thing to the budget is that the County Council, when it sets its budget in detail for the next financial year, sets in broad and then getting gradually vague red lines for the following 5 years, 4 years, sorry. So we've got what's called a 5-year medium-term plan. But actually, because of the increasing population, particularly the increasing population in younger children coming forward, there are plans, and basically for the next 10 years for building new schools, expanding schools and so on. And there is a scheme for Sawston for about £1.25 million, I think it is, for expansion of feed mills.
Right, okay.
So that's in the project, but it's not till about 2019, 2020, and that obviously relates to the timescale set out in the district council's local plans to when building might take place in
Which has
China.
now slipped very considerably, of course, due to the delay of the... Brian?
I just want supplementary to the question to that. What does that 1.4 million mean in terms of additional spaces? Do you know?
2 or 3 classrooms.
Yes.
Okay.
But there would be a substantial SY6 contribution from
Yeah.
development for any development which required that provision. So that's not the total funds that eventually be available.
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, the county does this for where plans have already been approved for building, and we know it takes sometimes years to build out schemes, so it shouldn't have all come at once. And where there are proposals within local plans for specific building in specific localities, and the local plan actually sets out a timetable for when the district county expects those houses to come forward.
Yeah.
So in a sense, the county's building programme for schools takes account of all that information and slots it in, and obviously that can move, specific schemes can move forward or back depending on how quickly specific sites start. So there is something in the budget for about 4 years hence for expansion within Sawston's primary school provision.
I mean, I think it's very unlikely that we'll receive a report from the inspector on the local plan probably until this time next year.
No,
Well, she's timetabled through to the 2nd of March, and another 7 or 8 matters to deal with, and the pattern seems to be 2 per month at the moment, so that takes us through to July. And if it runs, if she doesn't finish by July, she may sit during August, but last year there's a 7-week break between July and the beginning of the autumn session in September.
Well, I know she just had a few days now, and then there's another gap till the end of November when we have another 2 or 3 days. But and then another gap.
Last hearing, I
Very
was
slow going. We're all very frustrated with how long it's taking.
I think the last hearing in the autumn was about the 1st of December, and then was a break until mid-January. Yeah, 17th of January. Yes. Anyway, that's
So that was just a little bit of what's going on.
yes.
Couple of points. One is on the green motor cycle. You just reminded me, I actually have received complaints about the cycleway up Huckridge Hill. It's now far too narrow, and you can't get 2 bikes on it. They're wondering when that will be sorted out. And the other one is the Princess Drive saga and Woodland Road. The road's just falling apart again. And the tenants are now getting mightily fed up with it. I've had numerous complaints, and so they're asking, is something going to be done? It's supposed to be done, it hasn't been done, and the road is becoming... We went out and looked at it on Saturday, and it is a mess, Tony.
It is actually, yes, I can
You come on and get onto Peter J. Taylor, because the depot manager.
I think as far as the cycleway is concerned, there's we're all aware that the medium-term proposal is actually widen the physical. I think there's some urgent maintenance work that needs to be done. Just basically cutting.
You can't get 2 bikes.
So
get in touch with Mike Davis.
That's exactly what Mike Davis said the council will do.
Just getting back to the state it was originally intended.
He said in November, didn't he? I mean, Mike Davis, I thought, emailed Joe about what work was going to be specifically done that in the short term. Yeah, I mean,
Well, if he has sent me something, I'd let you all know.
Yes.
I'll try to
Nothing's been done because I received this complaint in the last 10 days.
I've not had anything last
Yeah, well, he said, I think he said it's going to be done in November. Well, it's specific in the email when it was intended to say
what year.
You don't check.
Well, it was
Yeah.
There's more people use the road
Yeah.
and there is the cycleway.
Yeah.
Well, it's true. It's do cramped. It's
It is, yes, I agree.
You can't get your
go
bike
side
right.
by side,
No.
and if you get a couple of cyclists on the school, there you go.
I mean, I'd say at the moment it's a decent footpath, and nothing more, actually.
Yeah,
just.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Well, I give the kids to do, they do use it more than the adults.
Oh yes, well, I mean, it's a safe, it's an official safe route to school, isn't it? So yes, yeah. Right. Any other further questions for Tony? Okay. In that case, we have to move to the closed section of the meeting, which is because we're to receive a report of staff management and Health and Safety Committee meetings of the 20th of September and 3rd of November, which will involve a discussion of the individual scenarios, which we need to do on closed session. So, I would ask everyone to have time, please.